All right, let's just dive right into this. Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're tackling something that I know feels, honestly, incredibly daunting to a lot of us. Building an anime physique from absolute scratch. If you're currently feeling kind of stuck with a skinny fat build, just wandering around like a low-level NPC with zero clue where to actually start, well, you are exactly in the right place. We're going to break down the exact 6-step blueprint derived from our source material that's going to take you from a weak, insecure starting point all the way to your absolute peak physical self. By the end of this explainer, the path is going to be crystal clear and you'll literally have the system to level up 10 times faster than anyone else.
So think of this as our RPG quest log. We're going to cover 1. Assessing your base stats, 2. Setting main quests, 3. Choosing your class, 4. Equipping starting gear, 5. The limit breaker, and finally, 6. Defeating the final boss. Let's start the game.
Okay, step 1. Assessing your base stats. You absolutely have to know your starting level.
Look, the absolute biggest mistake beginners make is jumping straight into a super difficult program without even knowing their current level. It's literally like fighting a boss on day 1. Our case study from the source material, Skinny Fat Kevin, actually burnt out because his exercises were completely mismatched to his stats. To avoid that, you need to evaluate 4 really simple areas. First up, pulling strength. How many pull-ups can you do? Be honest. And hey, if it's 0, that is totally fine. Just switch to inverted rows. Second is pushing strength. How many clean push-ups can you knock out before your form just totally breaks down? Most beginners are actually under 10, so you definitely aren't alone there. Third, leg strength. Can you do standard squats, lunges, or maybe even a one-legged pistol squat? And fourth, core strength. Can you hold a 60-second plank or an L-sit? Seriously, write these exact numbers down. If you know you can only do 3 pull-ups, you aren't going to waste your time grinding through a program that demands sets of 10, right? You tailor the game to your current level.
And that brings us to a really crucial piece of your base stats, taking a before photo. Now, I know, the source material notes that it feels pretty cringe, and it's so easy to just skip it, but listen, this photo is your ultimate baseline stat screen. Future you is going to be incredibly thankful you took it. Actually, it becomes your secret weapon later in the game, which we'll come back to.
Moving on to step 2, setting your main quests. Here is the secret. We are going to forget looks and focus purely on actions. Think about Sun Jin-woo from Solo Leveling for a second. He didn't level up by stressing over these ambiguous aesthetic goals like, I want abs or I want to look like Toji. Those goals just put a ton of pressure on you, and honestly, they aren't even measurable. Instead, he used a process-driven system. You need to focus on measurable performance quests. Things like getting 10 clean pull-ups, hitting 30 solid push-ups, or holding an L-sit for 15 seconds. Because the secret nobody tells you is that the leveled-up aesthetic physique, it's simply a byproduct of increasing those strength stats. As you get stronger, your appearance naturally levels up right along with it.
If you want the ultimate beginner quest, this is it right here. A 6-week consistency streak. Most people just struggle to start. By focusing purely on the process, literally just showing up for your workouts consistently for 6 weeks straight, you build the foundation. Keep your goals simple. Focus entirely on the process-driven actions, and I promise you, the visual results will follow for sure.
All right, step 3, choosing your workout class. It's time to select your training split. To reach your maximum potential, you really need to avoid creating this Frankenstein monster routine where you're mashing together like 17 random workouts you found online. You need structure. Let's walk through this to find your ideal class. If you're a complete beginner, the 3 days a week full body class is fantastic. It's super simple, focuses strictly on consistency, and gives you plenty of rest days. Now, if you have a bit more experience and want some organization, the 4 days a week upper/lower split offers a really great structured progression. And if you are fully 100% committed to fast-tracking that anime physique, the 5 days a week push-pull-leg split is incredibly effective. But please remember this golden rule. An average plan that you can actually follow consistently absolutely beats a perfect, optimal plan that you just give up on 3 weeks in. Pick the class you will actually play.
Okay, step 4, equipping your starting gear. Subtitle here, simplify your inventory.
Imagine you're a brand new sorcerer in Jujutsu Kaisen, and someone just hands you Toji's entire arsenal of cursed tools. You'd freeze up, right? Well, beginners do exactly this in the gym by over-tracking macros, obsessing over sleep scores, and trying these super advanced diets. Instead, look at Skinny Fat Kevin's heavily simplified starting inventory. We aren't doing crazy front lever progressions right out of the gate. We are doing inverted rows, push-ups, forward lunges, and dead hangs. Simple. For tracking, you're only recording one metric per session. How many reps did you hit, and was it harder or easier than last time? That's it. For diet, simply hit about 1 gram of protein per pound as your goal body weight and, eat mostly real food. It is laughably simple, but that is exactly why it works. Stop jumping between programs every 2 weeks just because of some argument you saw on Reddit. Equip this basic gear and just stick to it.
Which brings us to step 5, the limit breaker. It is time to push past your comfort zone.
Think about Megumi from Jujutsu Kaisen, how he was always prioritizing survival over actually winning. Most people do the exact same thing in the gym. They hold back. But look at how muscle tension actually works. Your muscles cannot count. They literally do not know that you set a neat little goal of 10 reps in your head. The only thing they recognize is the tension and the pure effort required to keep moving when it really hurts. True leveling up happens when you stop counting your reps towards a goal and you start counting the excruciating reps past that goal, right up until your speed starts to slow down and you physically cannot do anymore.
So how do you know when it's actually time to upgrade your game? Here's the golden rule of progression from our source. 15. If you are doing well over 15 reps of an exercise and it feels easy, it is a glaring sign that you have completely dominated that boss stage. You have to upgrade to a harder variation, or use shorter rest times, or try slower movements. You don't level up by playing the tutorial level over and over again, right?
And finally, step 6, defeating the final boss, overcoming the mental plateau. Once you are consistently beating the physical stages, the mental plateau is going to hit hard. You'll feel small, progress will seem totally invisible, and the old you will start whispering that this is all pointless. In fact, this fitness game only has a 10% completion rate. That's wild, right? But here is the absolute most crucial takeaway. People don't fail because building an anime physique is somehow biologically impossible. They fail because they voluntarily disconnect their controller before they even get to the end.
So, here's the real test. You aren't being tested on how many push-ups you can do today. You are being tested on this one simple question. Will you show up for month 3? When the doubts inevitably creep in, acknowledge them. Say out loud that it feels impossible right now, but do it anyway. Pull out that before photo you took back in step 1. Take a good hard look at it and remember exactly why you started this game. Because on the other side of that gate is a completely leveled up avatar. The only question is, are you willing to keep playing to unlock it?